Hello, today is Wednesday, March 25th, 2026. So today is our payday. Probably they deposited my pay already. Usually they start to do it like 6 in the morning. So it's 7:32 in the morning. Probably the money is in my bank account. I should check it out when I finish today's daily reading for which will last for 30 minutes to 40 minutes from now. So that means I will read 1 to 3 articles, hopefully. So let's learn more about the U.S. Army. I worked for the U.S. Army for 2.5 years back from June 10th, 1988 to October 10th, 1990. My assigned unit was then 516th Personnel Service Company, now 516th Personnel Service Battalion, BN. And we handled U.S. soldiers' records. We updated their records. We calculated promotion points. We issued various orders like new assignment, new enlistment, and we also issued the photo ID. So I'm naturally interested in the U.S. Army recruitment. So this is a synopsis, but we'll go into in depth. When I returned to my university as a sophomore, I was so tremendously attracted to joining the U.S. Army or U.S. Air Force. But since I was Korean and I was a student, I was like balanced out in my thought. I thought I would finish the 4-year college at Jeonnam National University, then maybe go to the United States on a scholarship for my master's degree, which I tried but failed due to severe headache and the constant prolonged the eczema, atopic dermatitis that I hold. It was very severe at the time, so I quit. I came back after 10 days at the University of Texas at Austin at the Mechanical Engineering Department. So let's learn more about joining the U.S. Army. Those in their late 30s and early 40s can now join the U.S. Army. That's terrible. So if you are in your 40s, you can join the U.S. Army. Previously, the maximum age was 35, right? Now, 49, 50. As a matter of fact, the Korean government is now discussing about posting Korean men in their 50s and 60s along the DMZ that faces the North Korea, because of the manpower shortage, because of not many people are born and they cannot substitute the current army requirement, so that they are thinking of posting fired or retired men along the borderline so that they can keep the North Korean infiltration off and kill them if necessary. Soon, I expect that women will be posted along the borderline too. So not surprising that U.S. Army is trying to increase the maximum age to join the U.S. Army. The Army increased its maximum enlistment age to 42 this month, bringing its accession policy closer in line with most of the United States' other military services. Individuals up to 42 with or without prior military service can enlist in the regular army, the Army National Guard, and the Army Reserves, right? There are three different main branches of the Army: regular Army, the Army National Guard, and the Army Reserves. Learn more. The Army National Guard is under the command of each state's governor. But sometimes they could be recruited, they could be ordered by the president when its responsibility expands across the state borders, or in times of combat or war with foreign countries. Army Reserves, almost the same, but probably they are like ROTC, Reserve Army, right? Army ups max enlistment age to 42. I don't know if you're 42 and your sergeant is only 20 years old or 24 years old. That's bullshit, man. That's bullshit. Army ups max enlistment age to 42 by Corey Dixon. Stars and Stripes, March 24th, 2026. An Army officer gives the oath of enlistment to more than new Army recruits. On June 13th, 2025, at Fort McCoy, Wisconsin, the Army increased its maximum enlistment age to 42, bringing its accession policy close in line with most of the other U.S. military services. Accession policy. I didn't know. Accession, like Jesus ascended, right? Accession. So accession policy, I'll look it up later. Even though I was with the 516th Personnel Service Company of the 8th U.S. Army, stationed in Korea, I didn't know much about the accession policy, right? I heard the word a lot of times on the news, but I'm guilty. Those in their late 30s and early 40s can now join the U.S. Army. The Army increased its maximum enlistment age to 42 this month. So it's not 49, but 42. Bringing its accession policy closer in line with most of the United States' other military services, according to updated service regulation documents published this month. Here, other military services means the Air Force, the Navy, the Marines, and the Coast Guard, Army Reserves, Army National Guard, or like ICE, or Homeland Security Department, CIA, maybe FBI, and also the police, right? Probably not police, but possibility is there. Individuals up to 42 with or without prior military service can enlist in the regular Army, the Army National Guard, and the Army Reserves, according to the updated Army Regulation 601-210, published March 20th. AR, or Army Regulation, AR 601-210, is the regulation that governs policies and procedures for the Army's enlistment process. The Army in recent years had kept the enlistment age at 35, that's right, although it did accept some older recruits with waivers. Officials said waivers means almost exception, right? A waiver. Or it's not an exception, it's not free, it's just that something is accepted, something is okay not to be eligible under certain condition, right? Waivers. The policy did not change the Army's minimum ages for enlisting which remain 17 with parental permission, or 18. The updated enlistment age brings the Army in line with the Air Force, Space Force, and Coast Guard, which all accept recruits up to 42. The Navy accepts recruits up to 41, and the Marine Corps only accepts enlisted recruits up to 28 years old. It is not the first time the Army has accepted older recruits. The service temporarily increased its maximum enlistment age, right? Maximum acceptance age, maximum enlistment age to 42 in 2006 as it struggled to fill its ranks among major combat operations in Iraq and Afghanistan. The service dropped its enlistment age back to 35 in 26. Oh, so they can just lower the enlistment age again, right, if there are too many recruits. The Air Force and Space Force were the most recent services to raise their max enlistment age in 2023 when they moved it from 39 to 42 amid a years-long recruiting slump that saw Air Force recruiters fall short of their enlistment goals for multiple years, right? Years-long recruiting slump. Years-long recruiting slump. But the Army policy change comes amid a solid recruiting environment in which its recruiters have reached or surpassed their goals in the last year and report being on track to meet their 2026 recruiting aims. So they reached or surpassed, right? That's good expression here. Reached or surpassed their goals in the last year, right? Years-long recruiting slump. Amid a years-long recruitment slump, some reached or surpassed their enlistment goals. The policy change is meant to better align the service with the Defense Department standards, an Army spokesman said Tuesday. The updated Army regulation also allows recruits who have a single marijuana possession or drug paraphernalia possession conviction to enlist without a waiver. Without a waiver, that's good, very lenient policy. Such convictions previously would have technically barred potential recruits from enlisting, but those with such convictions were often granted waivers to join the service. So if you are caught possessing a single marijuana shot or drug paraphernalia possession conviction, you are okay to join the Army. So many criminalistic soldiers among the U.S. Army soldiers, right? U.S. military. All of the U.S. military services also allow exceptions to their enlistment policies via waivers. The Air Force, for example, recently allowed 51-year-old David Goggins to enlist. Man, 51 years old. Probably if he's like a good hacker or if he's like a military pilot, probably it's okay. But not 51-year-old private? Damn. Goggins is a storied former Navy SEAL who entered the Air Force as Master Sergeant and was assigned to the Special Warfare Training Wing, according to an Air Force spokesperson. Wow, that's great, right? So he was a former Navy SEAL, and he just went to join the Air Force as a master sergeant. Then that's okay. I thought he was a private. In 2023, Rand Corps analysts suggested the Army raise its maximum enlistment age to help it increase recruiting at a time when the service had just missed its recruiting goals by about 25% in 22. Wow, that's really fell short of their annual goal. In a 2022 study, Rand analysts found that older recruits might perform better. It found recruits between 25 and 35 were about 15% less likely to wash out of initial entry training than younger recruits. That's good. Less likely, right? That's a good expression. It found recruits between 25 and 35 were about 15% less likely to wash out of initial entry training than younger recruits. That age group was also about 6% more likely to re-enlist after their initial contract, Rand found. It found recruits between 25 and 35 were about 15% less likely to wash out of initial entry training than younger recruits. That's good. The company also found that recruiters believed older recruits were of higher quality, more focused, and more motivated, as well as being ready to ship to basic training more quickly. Corey Dickstein, maybe Jew. Corey Dickstein covers the military in the U.S. Southeast, like Florida, Georgia, South Carolina. He joined the Stars and Stripes staff in 2015 and covered the Pentagon for more than 5 years. He previously covered the military for the Savannah Morning News in Georgia. Dickstein holds a journalism degree from Georgia College and State University and has been recognized with several national and regional awards for his reporting and photography. He is based in Atlanta, right? Journalism, I don't know what they study in journalism department. Maybe like a copywriting, quotations, chronicles, interviews, writing articles, writing essays, writing statements or speech, learning about grammars and so on, right? So Corey Dixon is the Stars and Stripes reporter. Hey Dixon, your article is very succinct, to the point, but not in depth, which is okay because it's just recruitment age. Max enlistment age has increased for the Coast Guard, Space Force, Air Force, and the military. We learned many expressions such as without a waiver, and they found that the age group between 35 and 45, 25 to 35, they are less likely to wash out of initial entry training than younger recruits. We also learned that Mr. Goggins rejoined the Air Force. He was a former Navy SEAL, and he became a master sergeant. And he was assigned to the training wing. And I guess he stays in shape all the time. And we should learn more about accession policy, right? Accession. Access. Accession refers to the formal act of joining a treaty, attaining a high position like a throne, or adding new items to a collection, often accompanied by a unique identifier. It acts as both a noun for the acquisition, addition, and a verb for process of recording these items. Position role. The Queen's accession to the throne exactly was celebrated with great pomp. Agreement and treaty. Croatia's accession to the European Union was completed in July 2013. Agreement, treaty. Collection archive. She listed some of the museum's recent accessions. Verb, recording. Each book was accessioned and cataloged, data recorded. Accession. Attainment, rise, succession, coronation, elevation, installation, addition, acquisition, agreement, accession policy, joining, right? Agreement policy, accession policy. So let's learn what I try to memorize. It found recruits between 25 and 35 were about 15% less likely to wash out of initial entry training than younger recruits. Amid a years-long recruitment slump, recruitment environment reached or surpassed their goals in the last year. Accession policy, bringing its accession policy close in line with most of the other U.S. military services, bringing its accession policy in line with most of the other U.S. military services. Accession, right? They are sent to become a soldier, right? Accession policy. Well, that's it. Thanks for listening. Have a great Wednesday, hump day, and my payday. Bye-bye.